The evening had settled into a thick, uneasy quiet. Emma and Daniel sat across from each other at the dining table. The remains of dinner long gone, candles flickering low. The air between them felt strained, weighed down by months of unspoken tension. Emma's thoughts swirled like a storm she couldn't contain. Daniel, weary from endless days at work, watched her with tired eyes, hoping for something, anything, that might bridge the distance growing between them. Her fingers drummed softly against the table, each tap matching the quickening rhythm of her heartbeat. Then, before she could stop herself, the words escaped. "I don't think I need you anymore." The sentence sliced through the silence like a blade. Daniel's hand froze midair, his fork hovering above the plate. He stared at her, searching for a hint of hesitation, for proof that he'd misheard. But her face was steady, her expression unreadable. The weight of what she'd said pressed down between them, heavier than any argument they'd ever had. Without a word, Daniel pushed his chair back and stood. The sound of his movement made Emma's chest tighten. She listened as he walked down the hallway, the soft creak of the floorboards followed by the sound of a zipper. His suitcase. Panic surged inside her, but she stayed seated, too stunned to move. When he returned, his bag was half-filled, his face calm but distant. "After everything," he said quietly, "that's really how you feel?" Her lips parted, but no sound came out, only the sting of regret. Daniel turned and continued packing, every movement precise and final. She stood in the doorway, unable to do anything but watch. The familiar sounds, the click of the suitcase, the soft rustle of clothes, the drawers sliding shut, now sounded like heartbreak made audible. When he finished, he lifted the suitcase and walked toward the door. Emma whispered his name, her voice trembling, but he didn't turn. At the doorway, he paused, his back still facing her. "Words matter, Emma," he said quietly. "Once they're spoken, they can't be undone." And then he left. The door closed with a soft click that echoed louder than any shout. Emma stood motionless, staring at the empty space where he'd been. The house felt suddenly enormous and cold, every corner filled with silence. She replayed that single sentence over and over, wishing she could snatch it back. She wanted to chase him, to tell him she hadn't meant it, but her pride and fear held her still. Days slipped by. His side of the bed stayed untouched, his closet half empty, a constant reminder of what she'd lost. When friends asked where Daniel was, she forced a smile, pretending everything was fine. At night, she sat in the quiet, remembering their laughter, their first dance, the promises they once made. But those memories only deepened her sorrow. She had built a wall with one careless line and destroyed the home they had built together. Daniel never returned, and Emma was left to live with the echo of her own words, the sentence that ended a love she thought would last forever.